Shortly after my friend told me that she had been mugged, I decided to purchase a gun. I felt vulnerable. So I went online and I found Dave's Gun World and Target Range. I called him up and I said, hey, I'm trying to, I've never, do you have lessons?
Yes, we do. How's Thursday, 4 o'clock?
Okay. So on Thursday, I drove over to the shop. Just inside the door, there was a large glass display case, and it was filled with handguns. On the left were the revolvers, and they all had names: Sleuth, Rin Tin Tin, Stubby. On the right were the semi-automatics. One was called Lil Abner. Above the display case was a large plate glass window through which you could see the actual target range, maybe 6, 7, 8 stalls. A door opened and a man came into the room. He was short and stocky. He had close cropped blonde hair, pencil thin mustache. He said,
Hi, I'm Dave.
hi, I'm here for my lesson.
Come on into my office.
I followed Dave back through the door I'd come out of into a tiny office. Dave locked the door behind us. He sat down at his desk. I sat down across from him. He opened the desk drawer and he took out a revolver and bullets and he placed them on the desk. He said,
We'll begin with the 5 rules of safety.
and Dave began to explain to me the 5 rules of safety and the 6 ways of this and the 7 ways of that. And he showed me how to load the revolver. But then he began telling me a story. He said,
You hear him breaking into your home, all right? You have a plan. You go directly to the master bedroom, lock the door behind you, dial 911. Retrieve your gun from the bedside table. Position yourself behind the bed facing the door, all right? You hear him in the hallway. He knows you're in there. You call out, I've called the police. I have a gun. He breaks down the door. You can see him. He can't see you yet. His eyes haven't yet adjusted to the darkness. Check to see if he is armed. If he is armed, you aim and fire. That's the law. If he's not armed, you're in trouble. But if he is armed, you aim and fire. You did everything you could to avoid a confrontation. You did not pursue him. Your gun was your last resort. Dave picked up the loaded revolver. He rested it against his cheek. He said, Your gun is your best friend. It is always there for you. And then he showed me the stance. It was a lot like golf. You had your feet planted shoulder width apart and he's comfortably bent. He showed me how to grip the gun and how to aim by lining up the sights. And then he led me next door to a small private target range, just 2 stalls facing a long, narrow room. There was a metal track in the ceiling, like they have at the dry cleaners. Dave clipped a target to this track. It was a paper cutout of a man's head and chest. And it occurred to me, David never even asked why I was there. It was assumed from the moment I entered this place I was there for one reason: to purchase a handgun for the purpose of killing human beings. Dave sent the target out 25 feet. He had brought along that loaded revolver. He unloaded it. He put the bullets in his pocket and he put the empty revolver down on the ledge of the stall. He said, Pick it up. I picked up the gun. Load it.
He handed me the bullets and I loaded the revolver as he had shown me.
Okay.
So I assumed the stance, I gripped the gun, I lined up the sights, and then very slowly, I pulled the trigger. A small round hole appeared in the chest area of the paper target. It was so easy. I had absolutely no sense of the awful power of this thing. And I said to Dave, this is a real gun, right? These are real bullets.
Fire the rest of the rounds.
I assumed the stance, I gripped the gun, and I thought, I could turn and shoot Dave. He would never see it coming, somebody like me. And then I had the most awful, almost irresistible urge to turn and shoot Dave, just to see what would happen. I thought, well, this is what children must feel, curiosity. I fired off the rest of the rounds, and I stared at the empty gun in my hand. To me now, it looked terrifying because it looked harmless. It looked like a toy. It didn't require strength, courage, or even much skill. Dave offered me more bullets, but I shook my head. I put the gun down on the ledge of the stall. The lesson was over.